who are the top 10 of 1996 from WWF and WCW? At number 10, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Austin had a decent run in WCW, but this was truly his breakout year. He would debut early in the year at the Royal Rumble as the Ringmaster, and he became the crown jewel of the Million Dollar Corporation, even holding the Million Dollar title. However, he would split with DiBiase, and Austin quickly rose to the top. I mean, he would win at June at the King of the Ring, defeating Jake the Snake Roberts in the finals of the tournament. From there, though, he had his sights set on just one person, Bret the Hitman Hart. And he called him out for months. The two would finally meet at Survivor Series. Now, in the end, it was a brutal contest. Hart did win. But that didn't stop Stone Cold. He continued to not only attack Bret, but he also went after his brother-in-law, British Bulldog, and his own friend, the already injured Brian Pillman. So yeah, just a great year for Stone Cold. Who knows what 97 is going to hold for him? This is actually his second appearance in the top 10. His first was actually back in 1993. At number 9, the British Bulldog. The Bulldog had, he had a string of wins in tag matches with Camp Cornette over the likes of Ahmed Johnson, Jake the Snake Roberts, Yokozuna, Shawn Michaels, and Psycho Sid. However, I think his biggest moment of the year came when he would defeat, or at least it appeared he defeated Michaels for the world title at In Your House, Beware of the Dog. However, there were some controversies around that match, and the decision was later ruled a no contest. So after he lost the match, they would have a rematch, and didn't turn out so good. But that didn't keep him down, because later in the year, Bulldog would team up with his brother-in-law, Owen Hart, and he would capture the tag titles from the Smoking Guns and hold those titles all the way to the end of the year. So this is actually Bulldog's third appearance in the top 10 and his first since 1993. At number 8, Conan. Conan kicked off the year as a double champion. He was the Mexican champion and the U.S. champion. He had a huge string of victories over the likes of One Man Gang, Eddie Guerrero, Jushin Thunder Liger, El Gato. However, he would get derailed and lose his U.S. title to Ric Flair. And this loss really kind of signaled a change in his attitude altogether, and he would actually join forces with the Dungeon of Doom. And he would continue to defend his Mexican championship, actually having a big win over Juventud Guerrera. So, at number 7, Hall. Scott Hall started off the year in WWF as Razor Ramon, and he held the Intercontinental title. However, in May, he would shock the wrestling world, and he would appear in WCW as himself. He was the first member of the invading force that would later be known as the New World Order, and their reign of terror swept WCW like no one has ever seen before. Seriously, not even the Horsemen. NWO was an insane force to be reckoned with. Along with his partner Kevin Nash, the Outsiders would defeat Lex Luger and Sting at Hog Wild. And then with Hollywood Hogan and the imposter Sting, they would take out Luger, Sting, Arn Anderson, and Ric Flair in the War Games main event later that year. The Fall Brawl main event inside of War Games. And then, him and Nash as a tag team unit, the Outsiders would end up defeating Harlem Heat for the tag titles. And then they would hold the titles to the end of the year, defeating such teams as the Nasty Boys and the Faces of Fear. This is Hall's second appearance in the top 10. His first was back in 1994. At number 6, Diamond Dallas Page. DDP also had a really good breakout year in 96, but it didn't start out that good. In fact, in the very beginning of the year, he was feuding with his ex-girlfriend / manager, the Diamond Doll, and kind of fighting the new men in her life. First it was Johnny B. Bad, then it was the Booty Man. He kept losing both of them repeatedly. He lost his girl, he lost his money, and then eventually he was forced to quit WCW. However, there was a wealthy benefactor who wanted to see him back in the ring and would eventually kind of pay his way back into World Championship Wrestling. And he would shock the world by winning the Lethal Lottery tournament at the he won the Lord of the Ring Battle Bowl ring at Lethal Lottery. And Or yeah, Slamboree. Sorry, I'm getting things confused there. Either way, though, he would win the ring, and that ring would grant you a shot at the world title. However, he just kind of defended the ring like the ring itself was a championship. So like he was picking up wins over like Marcus Bagwell, and he had a tape fist match with Hacksaw Jim Duggan, which he won, and then that would lead to his feud with the Guerrero family. He'd pick up wins over Chavo, but him and Eddie would trade some wins back and forth. They actually trade the ring back and forth. And then, just as fate would happen, they would meet each other in the finals for the U.S. title tournament at Starrcade. However, the NWO, being the pricks they are, would cost him that match because, they tried to recruit him, he turned them down, and now they're going to bring it down on him. But still, a great year for DDP. At number 5, Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Beginning of the year, wasn't too bad for the Hulkster. He would beat Giant in a cage match for the world title, and then him and Savage would go on to defeat 8 other guys in the Doomsday cage match. Some of those wrestlers included Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Lex Luger, and Z Gangsta. And after surviving that war, he just disappeared. And we would not see Hogan again until Bash at the Beach, when he would, turn the wrestling world upside down and reveal himself to be a member of the Outsiders, forming the New World Order. As leader of the NWO, he quickly got himself a title shot against the Giant, and he would beat him and take the world title. And then he would lead his wrestlers into the War Games, and they would defeat WCW's top guys. And then, of course, as the year comes to a close, he would reignite the feud with his old friend, new rivalry, Macho Man Randy Savage, and he defeated him at Halloween Havoc. Hogan was actually tied at this point with Sting for the most appearances in the top 10. They each have been in 7 top 10s. However, he will break the record this year. This is his 8th appearance. Even if he is down 2 from last year, that's a huge accomplishment right there. So, at number 4, Owen Hart. Owen had a great year, especially in a tag division. With Camp Cornette, they would actually pick up 2 big 6-man tag wins at pay-per-views. They would defeat Ahmed Johnson, Jake the Snake Roberts, and Yokozuna at WrestleMania. And then they would defeat Ahmed Johnson, Shawn Michaels, and Psycho Sid in the main event in your house. I think it was number 9. Either way, then him and Bulldog would go on to capture the tag titles, and they would pick up big wins over Ahmed Johnson and Jake Roberts, the Smoking Guns, and Razor Ramon and Diesel. Well, the new Razor and Diesel, but still, him and his brother-in-law, best tag team of the year, perhaps. And there you go. He's number 4. At number 3, The Undertaker. This was honestly kind of a rough year for the Taker. He was trying to get Brett's world title at the Royal Rumble. However, Diesel would interfere and cost him the match. He would eventually even the score of Diesel and defeat him at WrestleMania. But immediately after that, he gets sidelined with a feud with Mankind. And he found himself literally on the losing side of his encounters with Mankind and Goldust, actually. It was crazy. Of course, the feud would intensify and the mind games would increase. But the biggest twist, the biggest blow to The Undertaker this year was at SummerSlam when his loyal friend, Paul Bearer, dude's been with him for like 5 years at this point, turned on him during the Boiler Room Brawl. And this is kind of, I don't know, this changed something in The Undertaker because, at this point, he changes his outfit, he becomes more aggressive. And by the end of the year, he literally wraps up like all his feuds. He defeats Goldust in a Final Curtain match at In Your House. He defeats Mankind at Survivor Series. And then he would take out the Executioner, who Paul Bearer actually hired to assault the Taker at the last In Your House in an Armageddon match. This is Taker's 3rd appearance in the top 10, and he's actually up a spot from last year. At number 2, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. This was the year that he finally got to realize his boyhood dream. Initially, against doctor's orders, he would enter the Royal Rumble and win. At the next In Your House, he would take on Owen Hart, which, this is the guy who put him out of action and then demanded that he put up his number 1 contender shot at WrestleMania. And so HBK put it on the line, again, kind of proving that, He uses his emotions more than his brain sometimes, but he would pick up the win. And he would go to WrestleMania and take on Bret Hart. And they had an epic 60-man Iron Man match for the title. The hour went by without a single pinfall or submission, so there was no winner. However, President Gorilla Monsoon decided, you know what, we're going to have a sudden death right here, and Michaels would win the title. From there, he would defend against all comers: Diesel, the British Bulldog, Vader, Mankind. However, it was his former friend and bodyguard Sid that was finally able to kind of stop his run there. But yeah, this is Shawn's second top 10 appearance, and he's actually up 5 spots from last year. Incredible. And number 1, the Giant. The Giant was a dominant force in WCW. He started out the year as world champion, but he would lose it to Hogan in a cage match. However, he would regain it, and he would take out the likes of Sting and Lex Luger. However, when Hogan came back as Hollywood, they would face that Hog Wild, and after some interference from the NWO, the Giant would lose his title. But as the old saying goes, if you can't beat them, join them. And yeah, that's exactly what he did. He would join the NWO, and he would enter a feud with Jeff Jarrett, which he stole Ric Flair's U.S. title. So Ric Flair was like, "Hey, get my title back," and that was the whole thing. But his biggest accomplishment this year, I would say, was when he won the 60-man 3-ring Battle Royal at World War III. And I think a lot of people kind of thought that, once he won that, he was just going to kind of pass up that title shot because, he's NWO. But by the end of Starrcade, I think we're starting to see that the Giant has grown pretty weary of just being one of Hogan's goons. So anyways, congratulations, Giant.